conservative new media viewers, LA Lakers fans around the world, and Jeremy Lin fans around the world. What's up? It's me, PFA, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. We're here to discuss the Lakers' 127-104 loss tonight in Oakland, California, to the Golden State Warriors. Now, we made a short video about this game as well, so if you'd like to check out that or watch the short video now, watch the long video later, you can do that. Go and check out our channel and you will find that video easily. Okay, first things first. Lin fans are freaking out. Haters are feeling happy. They're all happy. They got like a little early holiday gift with this game. As I always say, I'll say it again. Ignore the doubters and the haters. And I would say the same thing to Los Angeles Lakers fans. This was not nearly as bad as what it looked like. And things will get better from here. So that's the first thing I would say. Letitia, yes, I love that you did the Lucretia thing and the fire hydrant thing. That's hilarious. You're right about that. That's right. Jeremy needs to mark his territory, just like Kobe said. Also, somebody on Twitter asked me if there were podcast versions of these videos available. And they are not for right now. I just haven't had the opportunity to set something like that up. However, I will say there is software available. If you go to Google and type in convert YouTube to MP3, you can find it. I know there's stuff out there because I've done that with a number of different videos that I like. So I'll try to work on that when I can. It's just something I haven't had a chance to do yet. Okay. The Lakers have fallen to 0-4 on the season, and this is the first time they've been 0-4 since they've moved to Los Angeles from Minnesota. So they moved to Los Angeles in 1960. This is the first time ever that they have begun the year 0-4. Now, are we happy about that? Nope. Is the world over? No. They've played very good teams. And they've had 4 games in 5 nights, as Lucy on Twitter reminded me, and she's absolutely right. And this game was a back-to-back. So the overall take that I have on this game is that the team showed great effort, and they got off to a great start in this game. So the confidence that they gained from the Clippers game carried over. It's just as the game wore on, the team didn't have enough depth to kind of make it through at the end. They wore down. They wore out. And not only does this happen on back-to-back games, but when you're playing 4 games in 5 nights and you are on that last game, you can just wilt. And I actually give the team a tremendous amount of credit because they didn't do that for almost this entire game. They only really wore out in like the second half of the fourth quarter or so. And that's good. This team still has belief. They still have confidence. And they were playing a tremendous team tonight. This was the home opener for Golden State. Golden State has one of the loudest crowds in the NBA, one of the loudest and most involved crowds in the league. So you're playing them in that atmosphere. This is the first game. Everybody's pumped up. They get to take on the Lakers. It's a difficult situation, and the team came out on fire. They were hitting shots. They were playing smoothly. They did great for much of this game. Also for the team and for Jeremy, we know what the Golden State can do because we saw it twice in preseason. We know how good this team is. This is in my opinion, this is a top 5 team in the NBA. certainly top 7, but honestly, they're probably top 5. When they're healthy, and they were mostly healthy tonight, except for David Lee, who's important, certainly is important, but they were mostly healthy tonight. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league. When Andrew Bogut is playing and Andre Iguodala is playing and Klay Thompson is playing, this team can shut you down, and they can light you up on offense. And for the vast majority of this game, the Lakers didn't have that happen. They really battled. They really fought. And I like that. In terms of Jeremy's going up against Steph Curry in this game. Steph Curry is one of the best players in the NBA. He's a legitimate MVP candidate. So this is a very difficult matchup for Jeremy individually. If just off the top of my head, I would say this might be one of the top 3 or 4 toughest teams for Jeremy to play, because you have a good shot blocker at the rim that makes it hard for Jeremy to get his layups. You as Jeremy, has to spend a tremendous amount of energy on defense trying to slow down Steph Curry. And the Warriors as a team play excellent defense, which means that passes that Jeremy might make to guys that or usually be open, they're not open. And so it becomes much tougher to get anything done on offense. This is why you saw the turnovers in this game, as many as there were for Jeremy. And to be fair to Jeremy, Kobe had like 7 turnovers. So it wasn't just Jeremy. It's because Golden State is so good on defense. And their offense is so high-powered that you get rattled, you get caught up in trying to score with them because they can score a lot of points. So it makes you make even more mistakes. I thought that the Lakers did a good job of keeping their composure and bringing a lot of energy for the vast majority of this game. So, look, sure, I would have loved it if they won. I would have loved it if the deficit wasn't 23 points at the end. But I actually felt pretty good about this game. The Warriors came into this game as about a 15-point favorite. So it's not like anybody expected that the Lakers were going to win this game, just with all of the setup, 4 games and 5 nights, home opener for Warriors, etc. Now, as far as Jeremy himself, his shooting was off. We saw that, and it hasn't been on really this season yet. Is that going to hold? Is it going to stay that way? No. Last season, he started incredibly hot from 3-point range. This is like the law of averages. The shot will come around, and he'll get better. Now, is his shot perfect? No. He still needs to continue to work on his form, make it as smooth as possible. And as I mentioned earlier, he got kind of a bundle of turnovers late in the game when he was trying to make things happen. And as I said, that was mostly dependent because of Golden State's defense. Still, we do want to see Jeremy stay calm in those situations. Don't force things. But what happened with Jeremy in this game is similar to what happens to like quarterbacks in American football when their team is behind by a bunch of points late and then they throw interceptions. They throw interceptions because you have to do something or you're going to lose. And so you start making choices that you wouldn't make if the game were closer. So I didn't like seeing Jeremy rack up a bunch of turnovers at the end of the game, but I understand it. It just, you either make a difficult choice and try to make a play or you're going to lose. So you have to choose one of those two options, and most players are going to choose, well, I'm going to try to make a desperate pass because I want to try to win. And so that's a lot of what happened in this game. And we'll go over quarter by quarter in a second. Look, Jeremy still has plenty to work on. He still has to iron out his shot. He still has to work on his dribbling under pressure and in traffic. He still has to work on the turnovers. There's still a significant amount of things he has to work on. And this game showed that probably as clearly as any game so far this season. And it's not unexpected. When you're tired, that's when you're going to look your worst. That's when your form's going to be its worst. And that's when all the flaws are going to be magnified. I'm glad that Jeremy's in a situation where he's supported and he can learn from somebody like Kobe how to do this. Okay, here are the flaws. How are we going to fix them? After last night's game, as many of you know, in the interviews, Kobe was talking about how Jeremy himself and Carlos Boozer were sending each other late night, after the Phoenix game number 2, about how do we fix things on the offense? What's the strategy? What are the plays? So if you're going to have to evaluate things and make alterations, this is the best situation to do it in. You have somebody in Kobe that wants to mentor you and wants to help you out. Kobe's supporting you. Byron Scott is supporting you. Okay, now you can go to work. As we've talked about, Jeremy has only had 2 years in the NBA, 2 summers where he's actually worked on his game. And he hasn't had any more than that because he didn't play much in Golden State. And he was rehabilitating his knee after the year in New York. So he's only had 2 years to really work on his game. You have a guy coming from a high-level academic institution where he had to spend a significant amount of time studying. He's shifting from shooting guard to point guard in the NBA. There's going to be some gaps there that he has to develop. And so he's doing that. And we've already seen the results. His three-pointer has become much better. His dribbling has become much better. His left hand has become much better. His turnovers have become fewer. He's developing a floater. He's getting there. This is why I always caution people. Jeremy can look great in the right situations, and he is great. There's still plenty to work on. So let him work on it. And honestly, it's good to see the flaws at times. Not good for fans, and it's not good for fans that don't want to listen to doubters and haters. But it's good for Jeremy. Because as any professional athlete will tell you, anybody in any field that takes their discipline seriously, you learn more when you lose. You learn more when you don't do well. And so let it happen now with the Lakers early in the season. And let's go from there. Jeremy did a lot of good things in this game. He did. And we'll get to that in quarter by quarter. He had to force some plays late, so he got turnovers. And his shot was off. Okay, that happens. Sometimes your shot is off. Sometimes it is on. I don't care how good of a shooter you are. And guys go through slumps. You go through stretches where it's just not on. That doesn't mean Jeremy's not working on his shot or he's not taking shots in practice. It's just sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not there. And that's what it is. Dallas Jack said to me on Twitter right before I came to make this video, all losses are not the same, because I said in the short video that loss is a loss. It's true, you're right, Dallas. They're not all the same. But you have to look at the totality of the game. The Lakers played the Warriors tough in this game. It just got away at the end. That's the reason why I can't get crazy that they lost by 23 points, because most of that happened in about 6 minutes. And the Lakers are tired. 4 games in 5 nights. It's going to happen. And this is what is referred to in the NBA as a schedule loss, quote unquote. And that means that if you pull out an NBA schedule, you're on a team, you can look at it and you can say, yeah, we're probably going to lose that game because of the scheduling, because it's the 4th game in 5 nights, because it's a back-to-back, and the second of the back-to-back is on the road in Denver, where the altitude's high and it's hard to breathe, and which will wear you down in the second half. Tonight's game was pretty much a scheduled loss. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to win if they were fresh, but this game looked worse than it was because of the scheduling. And to be fair, everybody in the NBA deals with this, which is why there's a known thing such as a scheduled loss. So, finally, before I get into quarter by quarter, if you want me to answer a question, people ask me all kinds of stuff in the comments of the videos and on Twitter. Probably the best thing to do, it doesn't matter. If I see it, I'll try to answer it. If I don't get a chance to answer it directly, like in a comment or on Twitter, just send me something on Twitter. Come to the CNM J-Lin Vids account and just send it to me. And if I see it and I remember it, then I'll answer it to the best as I can, just like I just did with the Dallas Jack, although his wasn't a question, it was more of a statement. But if I see it, I can react to it and I can respond to it. So, yeah, that's what I said. Look, I was thrilled with the way that the team played for much of this game. I thought this was going to be a blowout in a lot of ways, and it ended up being that, but it didn't look like that for the majority of the game. Okay, let's do quarter by quarter. Jeremy got the start, so this is the 4th time in a row that he started. So we're getting more into the pattern where Jeremy's the starter, and that's good. And that goes to what Kobe said. I think that you don't have to look over your shoulder constantly. Now, this doesn't mean that Ronnie doesn't deserve a chance to start or anything like that. Again, I like Ronnie, and Ronnie can play. But for Jeremy and for Jeremy's fans, we can start to move beyond the Houston PTSD and the looking over the shoulder. Jeremy's more the guy. Now, of course, if he has trouble and struggles some, well, that might not be the case forever. But for now, let's roll with it. And that will help Jeremy and stabilize him. As he said, when you're empowered, you do more. You can do better because you don't have to worry about things constantly. Jeremy started off the game great. He had 3 assists in the first 4 minutes of the game. And he had a blown assist, meaning he passed the ball and somebody missed a shot, which if they would have hit it, Jeremy would have gotten an assist. He started out on a nice defense. He forced Steph Curry to miss a shot. Then he had the blown assist. He passed to Kobe, and Kobe missed a jumper. Soon after that, he passed the ball to Wesley Johnson for a 3-pointer that Wesley made in the right corner. Soon after that, passed the ball to Carlos Boozer for a jump shot on the right baseline. And then soon after that, passed the ball to Jordan Hill, who hit a jump shot from the top of the key, which is basically the free throw line where that little semicircle is above the free throw line. So Jeremy started the game great. And as I said, he's passing the ball to guys to hit shots. So if Golden State is playing good defense on the other guys, then it's going to be harder for them to hit shots when Jeremy gives them the ball. and that makes Jeremy look worse. So if you're playing a good defensive team, your numbers are going to suffer. Not just what you do, but what you do that's reliant on your teammates, like assist. So that's part of what happened to Jeremy tonight. Also, Wesley Johnson played well in this game. And I'll go over the stats in a second because I haven't done that yet. Wesley, I'll say it again, and I was watching the Golden State Warriors feed, it was an NBA TV feed of the game, and they mentioned, look, Wesley has talent. Wesley's athletic. Wesley can play. But as I've said before, Wesley is like Jeremy. When his confidence is good, he can play. But when his confidence dips, he drops off the map. Tonight, his confidence was good. He finished up with 15 points and 4 rebounds, and he shot well. 6 of 9, including 2 of 3 from three-point range. He's capable of this. He just needs to get some success and get the success repeatedly so that he's more confident. That's a similar thing with Jeremy. As I said, Kobe finished with 28 points, 6 rebounds. He had a great third quarter. He had 19 points in the third quarter. Jordan Hill, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Carlos Boozer, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Off the Lakers bench, Ed Davis, another solid game, 13 points, 6 rebounds. Ronnie Price, 1 point, 2 rebounds, but he had 6 assists. Ronnie did a solid job in this game. He did. It's great that the Lakers were able to get him because with Nash out, they really need the depth there. Klay Thompson, 41 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. He played a phenomenal game. He only missed 4 shots out of 18. He was very good on both ends of the court. Klay has improved tremendously. When he first came in the league, and if you don't know, he is the son of Michael Thompson, who played for the Lakers. He was a center. He was a good player. So that's Michael's son. When he came in the league, he was primarily a shooter. And he was good, but he's developed tremendously. Now he can drive to the basket. He's a very good defender. He's really improved. And I believe this is his 4th year. He just got an extension from the Warriors, I think, and rightfully so. He's a good example of how a player can really blossom. Because I never thought he was going to be this good, but he's proven me wrong and proven a lot of other people wrong as well. Steph Curry, 31 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists. So those two guys, they call that backcourt the Splash Brothers because they're both really good shooters, particularly from three-point range, but just good shooters in general. They're probably the best backcourt in the NBA. And when they're hot, you're toast. And that's some of what happened to the Lakers tonight. Although, again, the Lakers held their own for the majority of this game. They really did. So I don't want to lose sight of that. Harrison Barnes, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Draymond Green, who was starting in place of the injured David Lee, 9 points, 5 rebounds. Andrew Bogut, 6 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. They also had some good contributions off the bench. Andre Iguodala, whose nickname is Iggy, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Leandro Barbosa, 9 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. Just looking to see if there are any other particular stats that stick out. Look, the one thing that the Lakers did great in this game was they did very well on offensive rebounds. They had 17 offensive rebounds. That is phenomenal. That is great. That's Ed Davis, another guy, and Jordan Hill going to work and really digging in. And they did a really good job of that. So that's encouraging to see. Lakers did have 22 turnovers, and again, a lot of those came late. I think when they just wore down and they were behind by too much, and etc. I mean, they got beaten in points in the paint. They got beaten in fast break points, and they got tired. Not only were they tired, they're not deep enough because so many guys are injured right now, and that's what it is. Okay, middle of the first quarter, Jeremy had a near turnover, and he passed the ball to Kobe on a post-up. Kobe was posting up, and it was in transition. And I think right after that play, this is one of these plays where I said, Jeremy, slow down. And I think after the play, I think Kobe said something to Jeremy along those lines. Like, don't rush it. Just take your time. I don't know that. That would be my guess of something like what Kobe said, or maybe he wanted the ball in a different spot, something like that. Then Jeremy almost turned the ball over again. Jeremy was going up for a shot, I think, and Steph Curry stripped the ball. And I think Jeremy was a little indecisive on the play, and this is what we talk about. He's got to work on protecting the ball when guys are around him, whether he's dribbling the ball or whether he's going up for a shot. And to be fair, Golden State's very good at these things. They're good at making and creating turnovers, so they're better at this than many teams are. But we still want to see Jeremy continue to work on that skill and that ability. Then he forced Steph Curry, I believe, into an air ball three-pointer. So Jeremy was playing solid defense. What Steph Curry does, first of all, he's very quick and very fast. Steph is. He's good at handling the ball. His dribble isn't the greatest in the world, but he's quick with his dribble. And he uses screens and picks a lot. It's almost like how Ray Allen used to be, or the way that J.J. Redick is for the Clippers. Steph stays in motion. He's constantly in motion on offense, whether he has the ball or not. And so if you're the defender, you have to keep up with that all game. Like I said, that's very draining, particularly if you're playing the fourth game in 5 nights. And Jeremy's definitely significantly bigger than Steph. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of energy to be able to do that. Jeremy did well for much of the game, I thought. He was late on some of the plays. He was late on defense a couple of times. And look, just work at it. Just work at it. It's going to happen. Then I made a note. I said loose dribble for Jeremy, which is the opposite of what you want. You want a tight dribble. So the ball is tight and it's very difficult for the defender to get at it. And I said this happened in traffic, and I put he must work on this. He does need to work on this. There'll be times where guys are around him, or he'll be pressured on his dribble, and then he'll kind of lose his balance or fall down, or he's in an awkward position. And it makes him look like, this is what makes him look unconfident or look like he can't play, etc. Some of it, or a bit of it, might be mental. I think a lot of it's just physical. He just has to continue to work on it. He dribbles great. It's just when he's in these situations, when he gets a little pressure, or when guys are around him. That would make you think that it's a little more mental than physical, but might be a combination of both. And he needs to just keep working on it. It's improved, and just want it to continue to improve. There are times when you see Jeremy executing on offense, whether it's dribbling or it's shooting or just setting things up, where Again, he doesn't look very good. Or it doesn't look like he doesn't look like the caliber of player that he can be. And so this is the thing that when people see him, they'll either dismiss him or fans will feel bad, or they'll feel like, he's never going to be that good. Or it's almost like somebody that gets married and then they're like, I made the wrong choice. Wow. Why did I marry this person again? You know, so I see that with fans. It's like, he's just not that good. He's not really good. Blah, 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 blah. There's just particular gaps in his skill set. And again, I can't tell you completely if it's mental or physical or combination. It's probably a combination. He just keep working on it. Just keep working on it. I know from playing, when you're confident, your skills are better. You're more sure of your dribble. You're more sure of your jump shot. So it's almost certainly a combination. And we would all love it if his skills were maximized right now. But it's just, that's not what it is. And so he just has to work at it. He has to work at it. And like I said, he's working on it. And when you're tired, like the fourth game in 5 nights, you will look your worst. So this is what this is. As again, I'm glad it's happening now in a supportive environment. He can keep working at it, and it will get better, and it will be less like this. So we'll just hang in there. Then Jeremy missed his first shot of the game. He took the pass, came in from out of bounds. The Lakers were inbounding the ball. Jeremy caught the ball on the right baseline, and he did kind of a fadeaway shot, and it just barely grazed the rim, or might not have grazed the rim. It was a tough shot. I think the shot clock was low, and he had to rush the shot, and I think he was moving both to his right and backwards at the same time. It's not an easy shot to execute, and he missed it. It wasn't that great, but he had to take the shot. The play, I think, was set for him, and he did what he could. Then I put Steph Curry hits a 3 as Jeremy was late on the screen, and then right after that, Steph Curry beat him to the lane. So Steph got a couple buckets in a row against Jeremy, and soon after that, Byron Scott put in Ronnie Price to replace Jeremy, and that was because of the defense, in my opinion. Although Jeremy needed rest too. But as I mentioned earlier, some of this is fatigue. You're playing on a back-to-back night. You flew in. You had to fly in after playing into another city on the road. Okay, this is going to happen sometimes, particularly as Jeremy's still developing as a player. So I'm sure some people weren't thrilled about that, but some of that's just normal. Just, you want a fresh guy to come in, a guy that didn't play as much last night. And if you think, give Ronnie a shot. If Steph Curry's all of a sudden getting hot, let's see how Ronnie does against him, guarding him. So I didn't really have an issue with the substitution. Now, Ronnie didn't do very good against Steph either. Steph got a shot on him, and Steph got another shot in transition. Then Ronnie almost had a turnover. Then Steph beat Ronnie off of the dribble. So this wasn't just a Jeremy thing. This was a Steph Curry thing, which is why he's so good. Now then, Ronnie did get a nice steal against Steph Curry, and then he passed the ball to Jordan Hill for a jump shot. So it's a team game. And I understand where Byron Scott's coming from. Steph, we want to hold down Steph. And if he starts getting hot, well, I'm going to try everybody against him. And that's what Coach Scott was doing there. At the end of the first quarter, It was 35-29 for the Lakers. Like I said, they started this game great. They were hitting shots. They had a ton of energy. They looked tremendous. Again, this was clearly a carryover from how they played in the Clippers game. And it was great to see. The Lakers shot 63% in the first quarter. Now, to be fair, Steph Curry already had 14 points. And a lot of those, honestly, came against Ronnie. So, even though Ronnie wasn't in the game as long as Jeremy was. So, it's to be fair. And after the first quarter, the Lakers had 9 assists and only 3 turnovers, which is tremendous. As a team, if you're having a 3-to-1 ratio, that's fantastic. You can't ask for much more than that. Going into the second quarter, Jeremy was on the bench. And I made a note that says, Lakers playing great. Offensive confidence, teamwork, and they're hitting everything. And the Golden State Warriors announcers is like, yeah, this is a little worrisome. They were afraid. As I said, that's why I can't just look at the end score and say, oh, Jeremy sucked, Lakers sucked, because it just wasn't that simple. The Lakers once again, and they did this in the Clippers game, I believe. They went into a zone defense. A zone defense, if you're not familiar with it, means you, instead of defending a man, you defend an area. And the way you'll know when you see a zone defense is if a man gets beaten off the dribble in a spot, then he doesn't chase the guy. They just kind of staying in a designated area. And what it does is it makes it harder for guys to dribble and get shots off of drives to the basket. Usually will force teams to shoot jump shots. Now, the Lakers don't use that defense much. They use it as kind of a change-up to kind of give the offense a different look that they're facing. So if the offense is doing well, they might pull out the zone defense to kind of slow it down and confuse it, which will often happen. So they tried to zone for a second. They didn't play it very long. And the usual defense in the NBA is man-to-man. So you're playing a guy and you chase the guy all over the court. And you go where he goes. Whereas the zone defense, you go where your area is. And if the man you were guarding in your area leaves your area, then the person picks him up whose area he's now in. So that's a difference. Ed Davis starting to do really well. Put Ed Davis rolling again. Then put Lakers swarming on defense. They were playing great defense, pressure defense, helping each other out. The announcers commented on it, and it was just fantastic. And this was the bench. This was Ronnie, Wayne Ellington, Xavier, Ed Davis, and Robert Sacre. Then Ronnie had a tough moment where he jumped to pass and he got a turnover. Again, the basic principle is don't jump to pass. But the bench was playing terrific. They got the lead up to 10 points, which I believe was the biggest Lakers lead of the entire night. And the Warriors had to take a timeout. They were reeling. That's what I'm saying. There's a number of positives in this game, both for the team and for Jeremy individually. That's why I don't want to, it's not just black and white of, oh, it's all bad or it's all good. Most games aren't like that. Some games, but few of them. Jeremy came back into the game with 6 minutes and 48 seconds left in the half, in the second quarter. And that point in time, the Lakers were leading 43-42. Let me just say quickly, I did not go over Jeremy's stats, so let me do that. 6 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 5 turnovers, 5 fouls. Plus minus was minus 22, which was, I think, the third worst on the team. He played 32 minutes. He shot 0 of 6 from the field, including 0 of 1 from three-point range. but he was 6 of 6 from the free throw line. So tough shooting and more turnovers than you would like to see. Other than that, he really wasn't that bad in this game. His shot wasn't falling, and he forced some passes later in the game once the Lakers were behind, which is, again, not completely unexpected. Then he had 2 blown assists in a row. Both of them were passes to Jordan Hill that Jordan Hill missed, but you can't make every single shot, and Jordan Hill shot well in this game for much of it. So that chemistry between he and Jeremy is growing, and that's good to see, because that will help both of them and help both of their stats. Then somebody was shooting a free throw for the Warriors, and you could see Jeremy talking to Steph Curry. They're friends. Of course, they knew each other when Jeremy played with the Warriors. And you could also see Jeremy talking to Kobe. So again, their rapport, their relationship continues to grow, which is nice to see. Then I put Jeremy missed his second field goal of the game, and it was a 3-point shot, and he was about 30 degrees from the left of the top of the arc. So that made him 0 of 2 on shooting for the game, and it was a very good defense by the Warriors. They were really up on Jeremy, and it was hard for him to see the basket. Then, let me see here. Okay, Kobe looked off Jeremy, meaning Jeremy was open, but Kobe didn't pass him the ball. He went another way. Jeremy was wide open for a 3-pointer in transition, and Kobe decided not to give him the ball, and he tried to pass it to somebody else, and it was a turnover. Now, again, this isn't a big deal. It's just like Jeremy not giving Kobe the ball when Jeremy hit the 3-pointer late in the game yesterday. Every guy does not get the ball every single time they're open or every single time they call for the ball. That's just the way it is. I can tell you I played a lot in the low post near the basket when I played, and I might sit out there and call for the ball, whatever. That doesn't mean I'm going to get it. I might call for it 8 times and get it twice. That's just part of the game, even if you're open. Now, you're much more likely to get it if you're open, but it's not a crime if you don't get the ball when you're open or when you call for it. That's just part of the game. Jeremy then got a foul. It was a second foul of the game. He fouled Steph Curry. Steph Curry was going left to right. He got a nice little scoop shot. That was a very difficult shot that went in, and Jeremy fouled him. And then I put Jeremy has to pick up his offensive confidence now because the Lakers need his points. There are times like this game. There are times also in the history of Jeremy's career where he is put out. He's in the game, and the team he's playing for kind of wants him to be the offensive focus, but he can't. He's not able to do what he wants to do. Maybe his shot is off, or the defender's playing him really good, whatever it is. And this is the reason why we talk about Jeremy working on his offensive one-on-one moves, so that when you're in those circumstances, you can be productive to the extent that you want to be. It's also why you work on your shooting, so that you can just pull up and hit a shot when you want to, etc. And so he's still developing this. I think he was frustrated tonight, and I think the team was probably a little, I don't want to say disappointed, but just they would have liked it if the times when Kobe was out of game, Jeremy could have scored a little bit more. And to be fair, he did make some adjustments that I'll talk about in a bit. But that's what he's working on. That's what he's trying to improve. Jeremy can create points when he's on the floor because he will get other people the ball. He's very good at that. He is still working on being a complete offensive weapon where he has everything. He can make one-on-one moves. He can hit three-pointers. He can hit other shots as well as get to the basket and make post up, all of these things. He's still a ways away from that, but he's getting there, and he's working on it, and I know he wants to work on it. And when he can do that, and I'm sure he'll be able to do it much better than he can now, then he'll be even more of a potent force and harder to stop on offense. And he'll be able to, okay, Kobe's going out of the game. Now we want you to carry the offense, and he'll be able to do that better. Because what happens now is that teams they can slow him down. They can double team him. If his shot's off, they can play off of him, give him space, and force him to shoot. And you just want to become more and more effective in those situations. Again, it's a common thing for all players of any level of ability. This happened with LeBron James in the 2011 finals against the Dallas Mavericks. He couldn't get to the basket, and the Mavericks were basically daring LeBron to shoot jump shots. And he wasn't able to do that to the extent that he wanted to. And that's part of the reason why the Miami Heat lost that finals. So what did LeBron do? He worked on it. He got better and better and better and better at it. So okay, you want to play me like that? I'm going to hit a whole bunch of jump shots. And that's what Jeremy has to do. And he's doing it. It's just it takes time to do it. It takes time to do it. This is what I say, where Jeremy's capable of scoring like crazy. He's capable of going to insanity. He's capable of dishing out a bunch of assists. But there are still ways you can defend him and kind of take away strengths of his and things that he wants to do that he still needs to make counters for. So that if the defense plays him that way, he's going to have an answer for that. He's still working on that, which everybody in the NBA is working on that, or almost everybody. You get a guy like Kobe, he's seen pretty much everything. You get a guy like LeBron, who's now in his 12th year, he's seen about everything and made adjustments to it. But guys that are or like 10 years or less, they're still working on it. I mean, Kevin Durant, who's an incredible player and the reigning MVP. Kevin Durant in the playoffs last year, the 2014 playoffs, and Kevin's he's in his 8th season. He was able to be defended by smaller players because Kevin has a high center of gravity and he's relatively thin. So what happened during the 2014 playoffs is that first Tony Allen, who's much shorter than Kevin, was able to give him a hard time. And then Chris Paul was playing him, who's like 6 foot tall. And Kevin Durant's like 6'10". But it worked because those shorter players were using leverage against Durant. He wasn't able to back them in because he kind of lacked the leverage and the strength to do it. So there's always an adjustment and then a counter adjustment. And so now people know with Jeremy, don't let him get you in a pick and roll. If he does a pick and roll, double team him off the pick and roll. Make him shoot. Make him go left. There's constantly an adjustment. And so now Jeremy's still working on that to solve the adjustments that have been made to him. And tonight was a tough night for him because his jump shot wasn't falling, because the guys he wanted to pass to were being well defended. because Golden State has a good shot blocker in Andrew Bogut. It's tough. And so you're going to have nights like this. But he did do something well in the second half that I'll talk about in a little bit. And so he found some answers. And he's trying to find more answers in his game totally. And you're not going to have a complete solution set in 2 summers of work, which is all that Jeremy's had to this point. You're not coming from the Ivy League and going to solve everything the NBA is going to throw at you in 2 summers. That's just not going to happen. It's just, nobody is. I don't care if you're coming from where you're coming from. Nobody can do that. So I don't want to be unrealistic and think Jeremy had insanity, so it's going to happen constantly. No. For anybody. It's just not going to happen. Unless you're like Shaq and you're 350 pounds and nobody else is 350 pounds. Well, then you might be able to do it consistently. But that's not the category. That's not the situation for Jeremy. Okay. Late in the second quarter, I put that Kobe was also missing, and that Golden State was just bottling him up. I mean, Kobe had 28 points in this game, I believe, or 27, but he had to take 28 shots to get it. That's not good. That's not a good ratio. Now, Kobe played well and he shot well. I'm not trying to put Kobe down here, but Golden State was just making everything difficult for the Lakers as the game wore on. Defensively, it was hard, and that affected Jeremy as well. Then I put Jeremy missed his 3rd field goal. I believe he tried to post Stephen Curry up, which is a smart idea because Jeremy is bigger than Stephen Curry. You usually want to try to post up when you are larger than your opponent. You don't have to be taller, just bigger, because you usually will have a strength advantage. But he missed the shot. Yeah, that's right. But I think he got the offensive rebound. Yes, he missed a shot. He got the offensive rebound, and then he passed it to Jordan Hill for a jump shot. So fantastic. Fantastic. At this point in the game, Jeremy had 4 assists and 0 turnovers. So again, for one half of this game, he had no turnovers. And this is why we have to break the game into segments and not just assume everything was bad because you lost by 23 points and he shot 0 of 6. Oh, he played horribly. No, he didn't. He didn't. Then he got a steal against Stephen Curry. He got the ball at about half court. It was a really nice play. Really nice play. Then late in the second, he drew 2 he drew 2 fouls. And this is where he started to make the adjustment. I made a mistake. I said it was the second half, and that's not true. It was late in the second quarter. What Jeremy decided at this point in the game, my shot's not going in, and I need to get some points. So you know what? I'm going to start drawing fouls on Golden State. It's very easy, even though Jeremy doesn't get the calls all the time, which we saw against DeAndre Jordan last night. It's easy for Jeremy to draw fouls. And the reason why it's easy for him is because of his speed. He can come at you so fast, particularly in transition, that you have to foul him. Either he just basically run into you, or if you don't foul him, it's automatic layup. And guys foul him just because it's almost like there's no choice. And so when he wants to get fouled, he can get fouled very easily. And so this is what he started to do. He literally got 6 free throw shots in let me see here, in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the second quarter. So like I said, he made a decision. Okay, we need points. I need to score. I can't get layups because of the shot blocking of the defense. I'm not hitting shots. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to draw fouls. And that's what he did. And he made all 6 of his free throw shots in this period of time, and it was just great. That's how you adjust. That's how you respond to what the defense is doing to you. You need points. Your team needs you to score points. And, okay, I'm going to get fouled. I'm going to get to the free throw line. During the halftime of this game, the NBA TV crew was talking about something involving Jeremy Lin and Nick Young. I didn't hear it. My guess is that they were talking about who would work best as the Lakers' 6th man. And the last thing I heard was Baron Davis saying, I believe that he thinks Nick Young should be the 6th man. So, I don't know. Well, we know about this, and, should Jeremy come off the bench, 6th man on? We'll see. That'll resolve itself in time. And Nick Young is not back yet, so we'll see how it works out. Okay, early in the third quarter, Jeremy missed another shot, so he was now 0 for 4. He had a nice little fadeaway shot against Andrew Bogut. It was similar to the shot that he took against DeAndre Jordan yesterday, the little step-back floater type of a shot. This was more of a pure jump shot, and he just missed it. Sometimes you just miss shots. And that's what happened tonight, and that's what happened on that particular play. Then, middle of the third, he drew a foul, which was good. He drew a foul, no shots, but he fell down on his dribble. So, as I said, there is still some weakness in his dribble when he's being pressured or when he's in traffic. So he does need to keep working on that. But it's gotten better and better, and I expect that it will continue to get better. But it's still there. I mean, that's just honesty. We want him to get even better and better, and I'm sure that he will. Then Jeremy was called for a charge. He ran into Steph Curry. It was a nice play by Steph Curry. And that was the first turnover of the game for him. So he didn't have a turnover in this game until midway through the third quarter. And at this point, Golden State was making a run, and they were more in control. So as I said, the turnovers weren't there when the game was about even, when the Lakers were ahead. They only came when Jeremy was trying to make plays to help catch up. When you are called for a charge, when you run into another player, when you're on offense, that is counted as a turnover. So you get a foul and you get a turnover. And so that's what happened on that play. Then I put Jeremy lost Stephen Curry, who hit a layup. I didn't see the play completely. I was writing a note. But look, like I said, Steph is in constant motion. And it's difficult to keep up with him, no matter who you are. And I guess Jeremy got a little bit off track on that play. Then he had his 5th assist on a great pass. He got an offensive rebound, and then he passed to Wesley again for a left corner three-pointer. So those were 2 plays in this game where Jeremy got Wesley Johnson wide open three-point shots, and Wesley hit him. It's just like Jeremy playing with Patrick. Jeremy could get Patrick really good shots, including really good three-pointers. And that's important. That's one of the things that Jeremy does. And he's making another player that a lot of people think isn't that good look pretty good. And it's great. It's good to see. Then Kobe hit a three-point shot to cut the lead to 76-73 Golden State. As I said, Kobe had 19 points in the third quarter, and it was basically a showdown between him and Klay Thompson. And it was fun to watch. It was a lot of fun. And thankfully for the Lakers, Kobe got hot, because if he didn't, then this would have been an even less competitive game, and the Lakers wouldn't have been able to stay in it as long as they did. Then I put Steph Curry hits a three-pointer on very good defense from Jeremy. Now, Jeremy was all over him on this shot, and Steph still hit it. And that's what Steph Curry can do. That's why Steph Curry. That's why he's an MVP candidate. The Warriors announcer said in this game, and he's 100% correct, good offense beats good defense in the NBA. If you have an offensive player that is supremely skilled and talented, I don't care who you send against them, they're going to score. That's what Kobe did, that's what Klay Thompson did in this game, and that's what Steph Curry did. So this isn't Jeremy sucks, it's Steph Curry is really incredibly good. And he is particularly known for his ability to hit three-point shots from anywhere in any situation. No matter who's on him or if he's falling away or whatever, he's one of the best shooters in the league, if not the best. Okay, then Ronnie came in for Jeremy with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third quarter. And it was, I think Byron Scott was thinking the same thing as what he did late in the first, which is Steph Curry's getting hot, and I got to try to slow him down. Again, this isn't a diss on Jeremy. This isn't McHale, in my opinion. This is, we need to do anything to try to slow him down. And so, I wasn't upset that he did it. It's just he's trying to win the game at this point in time, and sometimes you just got to try whatever you can. Then Ronnie missed an open three-pointer. He was 0 for 3 at this point in the game, and he didn't shoot well either. It's just one of those nights. At this point, late in the third, it was 83-80 Golden State. So as I said, this game was competitive for almost at least 3/4 of it. That's why I can't get crazy on the Lakers losing or they got beat down. Well, it was a very good game for most of the game. By the end of the quarter, it was 93-86 Golden State. So the Lakers had withstood this barrage from Klay Thompson, who had 28 points at the end of 3 quarters, and Steph Curry had 25. So these guys are going crazy. The Lakers were still in this thing. Kobe had 27 points, and Jeremy and Ronnie combined were like 0 for 8. The Lakers still had a chance to win. That's why I'm happy about this. Given the circumstances, they put up a good fight. They did. They just ran out of gas at the end. And that's what happened. So going into the fourth quarter, Jeremy was in the game. He played, actually, you know what? I made a mistake. When Ronnie came in, he actually might not have replaced Jeremy. That might have been the Kobe, Jeremy, Ronnie lineup at that point. So Ronnie did come in. I'm not sure if he came in for Jeremy or not. I apologize for that. Jeremy played really good defense against Draymond Green, and he forced Draymond into an air ball. Then Jeremy had a little turnover bundle. And so 4 of his turnovers, 4 of them came in the fourth quarter, which is why I can't get nuts about it. This is a guy on his 4th game in 5 nights. He's tired. The Warriors are starting to go on a run. I just got a little too careless and a little too anxious. But understandably so. You're trying to answer what Golden State is doing. But still, we do want him to avoid this when he can. Jeremy went to the basket looking for a layup, and he was stripped by Leandro Barbosa. I can't get mad at that because he was aggressive. Just protect the ball as much as you can. Again, this goes along with Jeremy and dribbling in traffic. You got to protect the ball when you're going up for shots, too. Then he was going to the left-hand side of the lane, dribbling down. He kind of got caught under the basket. He was trying to get points. He got forced under the basket with nowhere to go. He probably would have saved the ball, but it hit the referee. The referee is considered part of the playing surface, so he's in play. If the ball would not have hit the ref, he probably would have saved it to a teammate. But that was his third turnover of the game, and there was 2 in a very short span of time. So what Jeremy was doing here, as I said, was he was trying to make something happen. Probably realized Kobe had just put up 19 points in the third quarter. Kobe, if you know the fourth quarter of last night's game, Kobe was 1 of 7. Kobe's 36 years old and he's going to get tired. So Jeremy was trying to take it upon himself to get points. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to do that, and he got a couple turnovers instead. And that's what happened. That's why I look at it like that. I don't just look at the stat sheet by itself. You have to understand what's going on during the game. Then Jeremy picked up his 4th foul. He was fouling somebody cutting to the basket, I believe. Then Jeremy had a nice defensive play where he forced Sean Livingston into a brick shot off of a post-up play. Sean Livingston is taller than Jeremy, and he was trying to post Jeremy up. Jeremy played terrific defense. Sean Livingston missed the shot badly from that play. Middle of the fourth, Jeremy had his 6th assist. This was a drive, draw, and dish. Drive to the basket. He drew Jordan Hill's man to him, passed the ball over to Jordan Hill for an easy dunk. It was a very nice play. Then I put Steph Curry lost Jeremy on defense. Jeremy was trying to defend him, and Steph scored. And it wasn't bad defense. It's just Steph was in motion, running off screens and things, and he gets free. And that's what he did on that play. Then Jeremy missed his 5th field goal attempt of the game. He missed it just short in transition. We've seen this from Jeremy before. Jeremy is very good at finishing around the rim. He has a high percentage. Every now and then, Jeremy will be wide open at the rim, and he'll miss. And what's happening is, and a lot of this is, again, this is fatigue. He's so fast, and he has so much momentum when he's making some of these drives that sometimes it's like it's hard to adjust to it. And so maybe he thinks he's a little closer than he is, and his speed will get him there, and the layup's a little short. It hits the front of the rim. And that's what happened on this shot. He needs to work on that. You don't want to... There is something systematic about it. What I mean is there's something consistently there with this happening. So he can fix that. Just put a little more air under the shot, get a little scoop on the shot. But that's what happened on that particular thing. Then Jeremy got his 4th turnover, and there's, again, get a little bundle here. He kicked the ball out of bounds. I didn't see the play. I did not see the play, so I can't really comment about it. At this point, Golden State Warriors were up 15 points, and they were pulling away. The Lakers were fading because they were tired. The Warriors were on a roll. The crowd was into the game, and it was kind of slipping away. And that's what was happening. Then Jeremy got another blown assist, passed the ball to Jordan Hill, missed a jump shot. Then heading into the fourth quarter, Jeremy missed his 6th and final field goal attempt of the game. It was a long jump shot that just was barely off. Then he had his 5th turnover and final turnover of the game, and I put loosey-goosey and nervous on the pass. He came over half court, and he was trying to start and initiate the offense, and it was too obvious that what the pass was he was going to make. The defense read it. Golden State Warriors intercepted it, and it led to a Klay Thompson dunk. Now, I was mad about this turnover when it happened. But looking at it and looking at the situations, I can't get too mad about it. Jeremy was worn out. He was worn out. A lot of nervous energy because the Warriors were making a run. And you don't want to do it. But I can understand why it happened. So like I said, the first turnover of the game was, I think, in the third quarter it was in the third quarter. And it was a charge, so it was an aggressive play. And then 4 of the turnovers were in the fourth quarter where you're Warriors are starting to turn it on and you're trying to keep pace. What Jeremy just has to do to correct some of this is, one, stay mentally strong when you're tired. You still don't want to force plays even when you're tired, whatever. Number two, even when you're trying to make things happen, when you're in a deficit, whatever, you still want to stay with solid plays. Jeremy can get a little loosey-goosey, a little too relaxed in certain situations. And so the answer to that is just stay tight, stay fundamentally sound, even when you're under pressure as a team, when you need to score points. You still want to stay with what works. And so as he gets better and a little more experience with that, I think those turnovers will go away. They didn't affect the outcome of this game, but they don't look good for him. So you can kind of protect your stats a little bit and just play smarter basketball. So I think these things will go away in the future. And Jeremy collided with Steph Curry. Jeremy was on defense, and Steph Curry basically ran into him. The side of Steph Curry's head hit Jeremy right in the nose, and it shook Jeremy up. So I hope Jeremy's okay and he doesn't have a broken nose or anything, because he got hit hard. And it was just a fluke play. I mean, Steph wasn't trying to do anything. And then that was it. Jeremy went out of the game with around 2 minutes left. The game was over. The Warriors were up by 20 points. And so that was pretty much it. And that's how the game ended. So like I said, look, a competitive game for more than 3 quarters. This was a competitive game going into the fourth quarter. Lakers worn down, missing players, and fourth game in 5 nights. What I mean, back-to-back game, 1 day of rest, back-to-back game. This was the last of that. That just, you're going to be tired when that happens. That's what happens. I'm really not that upset about anything. I wanted the Lakers to win this game. I figured they probably wouldn't win it. I would like it if Jeremy didn't have all those turnovers on his stat sheet, but I understand why it happened. And in terms of shooting 0 of 6 on the field, that's just the way it is. It's not like Jeremy's not working on his jump shot, because I know he is. So it's just he's in a bit of a shooting slump to begin this season. And when you take into account all of the changes, is he going to start? Is he not going to start? Hey, Kobe's talking about him. Hey, what did Kobe say? New city. He's just getting into his spot. He played great last night. Tonight was a tougher night. It was tough for everybody on the team mostly. And this is what it is. It's a shame the team's 0-4, but the way they played the last 2 games is going to carry them a long way. They're playing hard. They're trusting each other. I like it. This is what this team needs. The schedule will get easier, although the Western Conference is very, very difficult. So we'll see. Again, I'm not throwing up the towel. I'm not saying this can't happen, that can't happen, and reaching 500 is a moral victory. Let's just see what happens. I like most of what I saw tonight. So, again, avoid the haters and take heart. Jeremy and the team played pretty well for much of this game, and that's what I got from it. That's what I'm taking from this game. Now, when is the next game? I believe the next game is on Tuesday. Let me just try to confirm that. Yes, it is on Tuesday in a rematch against the Phoenix Suns. Now, that'll be an interesting game. That, to me, is a winnable game. I'm sure the Suns will be favored. And they're a very good team. Certainly a legit playoff contender. And let me just say, the Western Conference is so tough right now that it might take 50 games just to make the playoffs. 50 wins, excuse me. That's That's incredible. But I think the team, the coaching staff are going to feel good about the way that they're playing. I haven't listened to any post-game reaction, so I don't know what anybody said after the game, but that would be my feeling. They know that they're getting better and that there are positive things here. And that's the way I choose to feel about it with Jeremy and with the team. So that Phoenix game, coming off of 2 days of rest on Sunday, rest on Monday, I want to see what happens in that game. That's a game that I think is a winnable game for the Lakers. So let's see how things look then. Let's not jump off the ship. Let's see what happens in that game. So that is it. That is the wrap up from me. Thumbs up, thumbs down, your comments below. We will put information for the highlights of this game in the video description below the video player. Also, information about how you can follow us on Twitter and come and join this CNM Facebook group, which has over 3,500 members and growing all the time. Again, I am Paul Affiliate, PFE, the NBA expert. Thanks for watching Conserve New Media. We do strive to be the #1 Jeremy Lin YouTube fan channel. Expected loss. It's just one game. And it was, as I said earlier, it's a scheduled loss. This was set up to be a loss for the Lakers, basically, given the way the schedule was for them and for the Warriors. Also like a homecoming game for the Warriors, in a sense, if you want to think about it in terms of American college football. That's it. If I'm Jeremy, you can see Jeremy leaving off the court when he gets subbed out, his head's down. He's probably feeling hurt from getting his head hit, or his nose hit. But what I would tell Jeremy is don't overthink it. The way that Jeremy used to be so hard on himself in Houston, just let it go. Kobe will just let it go. Just let it go. Get ready for the Phoenix game. Get your rest. Hopefully his nose is okay. And take the positives that you and the team accomplished in this game and in the Clippers game and get ready for the rematch against Phoenix and trying to get some revenge against Phoenix in a game that they should have a real chance to win. If they play the way that they played against the Clippers and against the Warriors, they definitely can win that game. So that's what I'm looking for right now. And that's what I encourage you guys to look for as well. 2:10 a.m. here on Sunday, November 2nd, 2014. Again, I tell you, if you're in the U.S., remember to move your clocks backwards, right? Yes. Move your clocks backwards tonight. Daylight savings time is over. Have a great night, a great day around the world, wherever you are right now. Of course, it is 2:10 here in the East Coast of the U.S., so it means it's 2:10 p.m. Sunday, November 2nd in Taipei, Taiwan, China, and the Philippines. Take care. I'll try to get down to the comments, and hang in there. Things will get better, and there's a lot of positives to take from this defeat. Talk to you again soon.